Susan.
Hi, Karenna.
Yeah. I'm so excited to hear because we just finished the foundations module about a week and a half ago.
Hmm.
And foundations is where we start the closed cohort portion of the artist circling program.
Hmm.
So in practice, it's kind of reviewing the sovereign and explorer stages, but it's the first time we go like dive deep in them in the closed cohort container. So I'm
Hmm.
really curious as to how that was for you, especially having done Sovereign Explorer. I think you even did Explorer twice.
Yeah.
And so to
Hmm.
transition from like the introductory workshops that were open to the public, but also had some of your cohort mates in them to like
Hmm.
be in this closed container with just your cohort mates, knowing that you were going to be on a 10-month journey with these people. And then
Hmm.
also you had all six of us. You
Hmm.
had John and myself and Guy and Penny
Yeah,
Ann and Peggy and Matt.
that was great.
And so yeah, I want to hear from your perspective, like how was Foundations and like what did you, if anything, did you notice a difference between the intros to the cohort? And then like has any of the stuff that kind of, sparked for you during Foundations like found its way out into your real life?
Yeah. Um, so I really like the community
Mm,
um that is being built by meeting people kind of sporadically in Explorer and Sovereign, and then like getting a deeper dive into getting to know them in the foundations weekend and then moving forward with
mhm,
that group all together. And I'm really enjoying the people in the cohort,
mhm.
and I'm excited to continue to learn and grow with them and to learn all of these new skills with these people that I'm becoming more comfortable with.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think the last time we spoke, we were talking about um, how Explorer and Sovereign, the ideas for Explorer and Sovereign were coming up for me, and I think it was after the Sovereign weekend that I was saying to Dan, my husband, who's also in AOC 13, that it feels to me like the Sovereign part is going to be really important for me. Um, I'm noticing when I'm circling that when I share a sovereign share and the other person either says, yeah, that's my experience, or no, that's not my experience, that in either case, what ends up happening for me is it's like I'm holding up a mirror when I do those sovereign shares. And
Mm.
what I get back from the other person is a kind of reflection of myself.
Yeah.
And so even though I'm circling them, I'm learning things about myself that I couldn't have learned just by
Yeah.
thinking about my own experience.
Yeah.
And um and that's helping me to really understand myself in a
Yeah.
way that um
Yeah. The
that I
parts
didn't
of
before.
yourself that you can only see and experience in relationship
Right.
to another.
Hmm.
And then particularly what I love about the cohort module that we do is like it's not it's not a stranger, like it's someone who you're invested in and you know you're going to have at least a 10-month relationship with, but it's
Hmm.
not so high risk that it's a family member or a loved one or
Hmm.
a friend. And so
Hmm.
there's shared agreement that we're
Hmm.
both practicing the same thing and we're invested in each other.
Yeah.
So it's like medium stakes, you know. Um,
Hmm.
and for me, I'm like that. It feels like safe to practice with someone where we got medium stakes.
Yeah.
You know? And I love how you said like, yeah, the offering a sovereign share of like, here's what I think I'm getting about you, or here's how I was impacted by hearing you, is like holding up a mirror because like how they receive it and how they respond, like it's going to reflect something of you, of like in
Yeah.
noticing how you respond to their reception or
Hmm.
their response is
Hmm.
going to reveal even more of yourself. And so it's like,
Yeah,
it's really a collaborative process,
it is. Yeah.
you know, and it's not like I'm this like isolated person who is performing something on them.
Hmm.
You know, it's like I have to get in there too.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
like the more we can both get in there, the richer the experience is going to be,
Right. Yeah.
which I think sometimes surprises people. They're like, oh, I'm here to learn the thing. And it's like, oh, you know, it's that difference between doing circling and being circling. You know,
Right.
it's like if
Yeah.
you are like doing circling on someone, they're going to feel it. And it's not going to be as rich and as mutual and as flowing and as
Hmm.
as a dance
Yeah.
versus you're being circly with them and
Hmm.
then things are going to blossom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened after the foundations weekend, when we went away to integrate the weekend together?
Mm,
We were talking about my circle, and funny enough, my circle was about being stressed about being circled.
hmm.
And you were
I had
in
the
my
privilege of
circle,
being there.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was there. Yeah. I happen to know.
And and each time I'm circled, I'm noticing that a whole host of my patterns come up. And um that happened in the sovereign weekend. Yeah, actually in all of my circles, it seems like so many of my patterns come up. And when we were integrating this past week, I, with Dan's help, started to recognize that I have two main parts, if you're talking about parts work.
Mhm.
And I never thought that I had parts before this. I just thought I had a whole bunch of like random loose patterns floating around, driving
Mhm.
me crazy. And so we went on a hike and Dan circled me for hours. And it seems like a lot of my patterns got rolled into this one part, which is a judge.
Mm.
And the other part is just this scared part. And so the judge is always telling me what I'm doing wrong,
Mhm.
what I could be doing better,
Mhm.
all those perfectionism
Yeah.
patterns, the
Where
making
you're not
mistake patterns,
living up to
where I'm not, yeah,
expectations.
yeah, where I'm disappointing people. And then the scared part is the one that's like, I'm just scared. I'm just scared. I'm just scared. I'm just scared.
Yeah.
And the judge is like, sometimes the judge is like, scared part, you're supposed to be scared right now.
Yeah.
And sometimes the judge is like, scared part, you're not supposed to be scared right now.
Yeah.
Stop it. You
Yeah.
know? And in either case, there's too much fear and there's too
Yeah.
much judging.
Yeah. Oh,
And yeah, so that's what came up on our hike. And
yeah.
it felt really, really big for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I notice it in myself as I listen to you of like, oh, it used to seem like I just had a bunch of these disconnected patterns. And now I'm realizing, oh, they're actually centralized around judgmental patterns and like fear-based patterns.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know it's so funny. I'm like, well, I'm wondering whether another part will show up or whether we might even be able to recruit one, like a
Hmm.
mediator part or like a part that like can actually come and help with this,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, and we'll see. One might emerge, or you might want to recruit one of like, yeah, because yeah, the judger just saying to this frightened part, like, oh, you should be scared because you've been doing this wrong and this wrong,
Hmm.
and like you
Yeah.
should feel threatened right now,
Yeah.
or just saying like, stop it, I need you to
Hmm.
buck up. Like,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
we need we need
Yeah.
like a translator or a mediator
Hmm.
or some
Yeah. The
to
other
show
thing
them.
that I noticed was that I keep so like our journey, our healing journey is like this spiral.
Yeah,
And um I think somebody in the weekend even said like you come to this place
yeah,
that's the same place you've been before,
yeah.
but
It
it's like
was
on a different
Eric.
spot in the
Yep.
spiral. And so the spot that I also came to is a spot that I've been in before where I'm instead of feeling the negative feelings and acknowledging them and being like, "Oh, you kept me safe as a child and you kept me like from
Hmm.
getting in trouble and you helped me to get love." And like instead of acknowledging what those parts did for me,
Hmm.
I just go, "No." And I shove them away and
Oh,
I stuff them down and I don't give them any room to breathe or to be
yeah,
there. And then I wonder why, like, it's so hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. Even when you went, no, it's like it was worse than in my nervous system. It was worse than just stuffing them. It was almost like you made them bad and wrong, and like it
Yes.
was such a
Hmm.
departure
Yes.
from welcoming them and being like, yeah, like I get it. I get why you're here.
Hmm.
I realize how you were supportive and maybe even life-saving at a
Hmm.
earlier time,
Yeah.
and I'm not stuck there anymore.
Right.
And like we need to upgrade or we need
Yeah.
like a different angle or a different
Right.
perspective.
Yeah.
You're just like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop existing.
Yeah.
And like,
Stop
oh, just
existing. Hmm.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
I felt that.
Yeah. And I've been to that spot like so many times now that it can be frustrating, right? Because I'm like, oh, I know I'm supposed to love these parts. I know I'm supposed to like accept them and like thank them and let them be there and experience the sadness and the frustration and the fear and like let it all be there. But I end up like shooting myself,
Hmm.
shooting on myself and being like, you shouldn't have this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, and you shouldn't feel this way anymore. And that just makes everything worse. And so
Funny.
here I am again on the spiral.
I noticed when you were talking, like I all of a sudden got curious and compassionate to the shooting part. I was like, oh, what do they have their eye on? What is that part afraid of? What is that part protecting?
Mm,
Because that part comes from somewhere too.
yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like there's something important there that they're like, stop doing this. Like you have to stop. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the judge part or something else. It's hard to know.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
Well,
that's for another circle.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, the spiral staircase, like, oh, there's an interesting journey ahead of you.
Hmm.
And I really do love that analogy. And I felt touched that Eric had remembered it from
Hmm.
almost 3 years ago, the last time we had talked about it.
Hmm.
And that idea of like that's what that development is. It's like
Hmm.
a spiral staircase. And like our issues are always going to be our issues, but we're going to
Right.
see them from a different level and a different angle, and
Right.
eventually, as we
Hmm.
continue to, climb the
Hmm.
spiral staircase, it's going to get fewer and further between
Hmm.
and less intense.
Yeah.
But like I like embracing that analogy because like it breaks my heart when people are like, oh, I should be over this by now, rather than being like, oh yeah, here's that thing again. And I'm seeing like and honoring that you have developed and it's a similar thread, but
Right.
a different issue or a different angle or a different,
Right.
floor,
Yeah.
rather than like getting mad at yourself or like, why aren't I over this? Or why do I keep doing this? It's like, oh, no, that's my edge. That's my thing.
Hmm.
Whether
Yeah.
it's scarcity or not feeling good enough or having
Hmm.
trouble holding boundaries or like speaking up for yourself. It's like, oh, I'm getting better at it, but it's here in a different form. And yep, no,
Right.
I'm improving, but it's showing
Yeah.
up in this way now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, can we be compassionate with ourselves and each other?
Yeah.
you know, through
Yeah.
our developmental stages.
Hmm. Yeah.
Whew. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a lot. A lot came up.
Well, and I love that the like one again, and we're gonna get to talk to you and Dan jointly, in a week or so.
Mhm.
But I love that you guys have each other to go through this together. And like
Yeah.
it's funny, like you named like, oh, like we were going on a hike, and so he was circling me for hours. And it's like I imagine there'd be people in our community watching us being like, what? How can you hike and circle? And it's like that's another exciting part about this of like once you learn like these tools and this come from like it is almost like circling becomes like a way of being. And so
Hmm.
it's just, I mean, even if you're riding in a car or,
Hmm.
hiking in the Acadia Forest,
Hmm.
you're like, if you're carrying yourself in a way where, I'm listening openly with curiosity and I'm not trying to fix and I'm not trying to solve, but I'm just trying to understand. And I'm using some of these tools of like reflecting back what I think
Hmm.
I heard or like
Right.
listening between the lines and reflecting back what it didn't hear, but I think maybe might also be occurring.
Hmm.
Like technically, yeah, we're circling, you know,
Yeah.
while we're hiking or
Hmm.
while we're, on a
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah. And we find that doing it in nature is really, really restorative
Yeah,
and
I
like
agree.
takes you to places that you didn't expect because you don't have all the noise of like man-made objects and like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is,
And
but
I feel there's
just
something
yeah.
really grounding about being out in nature that, like, there's also the groundedness and the spaciousness that
Hmm.
almost like invites or encourages even more openness
Yeah.
and even more possibility.
Hmm.
I love it, especially when we're moving. And it's funny,
Hmm.
like, one of my favorite teachers, my favorite trauma teachers, Peter Levine, talks about like even in his somatic therapy, he was like, you got to get someone up and moving, or even if they're just marching their feet in place, when you're working through something, there's something about the nervous system agency of movement. And
Right.
so to be processing something while you are actually like climbing
Hmm.
a trail,
Right.
there's a agenic momentum that happens.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
so
It feels like
coupling
there's
these
a
things too.
yeah, it feels like there's a moving forward,
Yeah.
like a I'm taking the next step. I'm taking the next step. I'm
Yeah.
taking the next
Like,
step.
so there's an additional like potency of possibility or movement that
Hmm.
becomes available because we are physically moving forward as opposed to sitting in stationary.
Hmm.
I love that you're discovering that in real time and use it
Yeah.
to your advantage.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So is there anything about the this particular workshop that either surprised you or that you really liked and you want more of, or that maybe didn't work for you and you want us to know of like, oh yeah, that, you know, didn't hit the spot for me.
Hmm. No, I thought that the way that you guys have us practicing with like the 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, like all we're all taking turns circling and we're being the starter and then we're being the middle person, then we're being the closer and like because there are different skills that you use at different points
Yeah.
in that. And it was really helpful to have practiced all three of those
Yeah.
positions in the
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah. Oh, I love hearing that because it sometimes people get frustrated that they're doing a relay race. And I'm like, no, well, we want to take a little bit of the pressure off. We're like, you only have to do this 20-minute chunk. And like, that's
Hmm.
all you have to do. And then you get to rest and watch someone else do their chunk.
Hmm.
Because again, like the spiral staircase, we learn so differently from those positions.
Right.
Like you learn by doing it. And then
Hmm.
you learn different things by watching someone else do it. And then you
Right.
learn different things by being the receiver and having things done to you. And
Right.
like, so we really want to make sure, especially in these first two modules, that we're giving you opportunities to be in all of the positions so that
Hmm.
you can be having all of the different types and styles of learning.
Yeah.
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 So
And
I'm
the
glad
other
that,
thing that was great about the weekend was when John did that energy,
oh, yeah, the
yeah,
energy
thing.
class.
Yeah. Yeah. The energy class. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
great. Yeah. I've been using some of that to help ground me and um, release some negative energy and fill myself self up with the suns that he was talking
Yeah,
about.
the golden sun and
Yeah, the
the
golden suns. Yeah.
rose and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the grounding cord.
Hmm.
And it's so
Yeah.
interesting to think about the power of our intention
Right.
and like the power and the potency of visualization.
Hmm.
So that idea of dropping a grounding cord from your root into
Hmm.
the earth and whether you want to like use it like a tube
Hmm.
to, gain energy from Mother
Hmm.
Nature, or you want to use it like a chute and be like,
Hmm.
okay, whatever I just heard and observed, I'm going to release
Hmm.
and then I'm going to blow up my cord and I'm going to
Right.
like manifest a new one. And
Yeah.
like, it's so funny. Like, and even if they feel silly to you, and then you're like, oh, wait, why do I feel different?
Hmm.
Or even like in a circle, sometimes I will have people, especially if it's an intense circle, I'll have people visualize like the either the threads or sometimes they're tiny little silver like spider web threads, and sometimes they're giant tubes that connect you with the people in the circle. And we're like,
Hmm.
okay, just like with your intention, we're gonna wave your hand and like release those
Hmm.
and release them to be free and sovereign and release me to be free and sovereign. Whatever energy of theirs was in that tube is going to go back to them, and whatever
Hmm.
energy of yours is going to come back to you. And we're
Yeah.
going to release this circle. And it's funny,
Hmm.
when people be like, I felt it. Like I feel more energized when I called it back or when I severed,
Right.
because we don't realize how, especially if you listen deeply to someone or you're in a conversation where you care about them, you don't realize like you kind of get like energetically entwined with them.
Hmm.
And if you don't do something to intentionally kind of like bring your energy back and release theirs, you can get like drained even
Yeah.
after you leave the room.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so yeah, it's
Hmm.
funny. And so we always make it optional because sometimes it doesn't vibe with people.
Right.
But I think it's important to offer, especially because a lot of people who are drawn to personal growth work are also really empathic. And you need tools to protect yourself and your energy and each other when you're working in sensitive spaces with empathic people, whether you
Hmm.
get enmeshed with someone else or whether they get glommed onto you, and like to do that with agency and care, to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to release you to be free and sovereign. I'm going to trust that you can handle yourself. I'm releasing me to be free and sovereign and I can
Hmm.
handle myself, so that you don't get exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that energy course ties in with our Tai Chi practice
Mm.
because with Tai Chi, we're also imagining that we have root
Mhm.
and we're connecting to our psychic point. So there's some tie in there also.
Yeah.
That's been helpful.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Well, that's exciting. And I'm really looking forward. I know I get to speak to Dan next week, and then I'll get to speak to the two of you jointly. And I'm so excited for our whole community to be able to follow you guys along this journey and to see the impact not only that it has on you guys individually, but as a couple.
Mhm.
And it's so exciting to hear that you guys actually were able to take some time off after doing the workshop together and like be on your own with each other, and like
Mhm.
this idea of integration of
Yeah.
like, so it's not just like, oh, we go off and we do this workshop and then we go back to our busy lives or we go back to our old patterns. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're actually intentionally taking some time
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
integrate. I know as a therapist, sometimes like I intentionally take the last 10 minutes of session and be like, okay, what are the action items? Because if I don't, then individuals and couples will come back, a week later or 2 weeks later, and they're like, well, like we really had a good session, but then we weren't sure how to carry it out, or we weren't even sure
Mhm.
what we were supposed to be working on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, so we make tiny little incremental steps in session, but it's
Mhm.
the outside of the weekend workshop or
Right.
outside of the session or outside of the aha experience that
Yeah.
really helps it like become a new pattern and a new habit that you're going to
Mhm.
be able to shift the paradigm,
Right.
be doing something different.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Anything else on your mind or that like struck you about this particular, module that you want to either let me know or share with the community, or even just say for yourself in order to feel fully grounded and
Mm,
secure in it?
I guess the only thing I'll say in closing is that it felt foundational.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad. And it's
Yeah.
funny, it's designed that way. It's like we have the
Hmm.
two introductory workshops and then the foundational workshop. It's about building rapport, establishing the container for the entire cohort,
Hmm.
and reviewing, those first two stages so
Hmm.
that it's kind of like a launching pad for the
Yeah.
rest of the course. And
Hmm.
so in
It feels like
December,
that.
we'll do Advanced Explorer, and then we try to, weave in play and weave in, connection
Hmm.
alongside of the skill building as well. I
Hmm.
personally think I really believe in the transformational power of play.
Hmm.
And so I really like when we like teach a skill and then we give you a game to play to practice the skill.
Yeah.
Because I think personally for myself, like I learn more when I get to play with something than I do when I'm like listening to a lecture.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
I hope we like struck a nice balance for you guys.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, thank you for sharing your experience with us, Susan.
Yeah, you're
And
welcome.
I'll
Thank
look
you.
forward to hearing what jointly about your experiences with Dan next
Hmm.
week.
Yeah.
And then everyone can look forward to what reveals itself in December when we do Advanced Explorer.
Hmm.
All right. Take care, hon. I'll see you soon.
Thanks.